Good morning, guys. It's Brooke here. Today I'm doing a voice recording because I had a powerful dream last night, and I'm going to do a series where I talk about spirituality and things that happen to me spiritually because I have a lot of interesting dreams that I can share with you guys and give you some spiritual information. Now, as you guys know, I'm not religious, I'm just a spiritual person. I do believe in God, I do believe in the Most High, and I do believe there are benevolent forces trying to help us because we're in human physicality and there's so much out there that we do not see. There's a lot of beings, there's a lot of things going on we can't see because the way the human body was developed, we've been genetically modified by extraterrestrials or fallen angels, whatever you want to call it. They call it many names, but these beings, they genetically modified the human brain and the human body so that we don't have the ability to have spiritual sight. And you guys are wondering, what is spiritual sight? In the spirit realm, from my experiences astral traveling, spiritual sight is way different than physical sight because we're seeing through what our brains can process and what is projected to us. As we know, this is probably the Matrix, or this is just a false illusory reality. And we're more science is coming out every year proving this is to be real. That we could be in a reality that has been manipulated, and our brains are being tricked. There's signals, there's Wi-Fi, there's things hitting our brains every day, especially in the dream state, that could be affecting our reality. This is true. I went through this. God, I prayed to God, and I had this information come to me. This is true. But last night I had a dream that was really strange, and I don't want to get into it heavily because it's personal. But as you guys know, if you don't know, I'll explain it to you. Sometimes at night, a dark entity, a reptilian, an alien, a fallen angel. There's so many names for them, but there's so many texts and artwork and ancient writings about these beings. Now, I don't care if you're religious, Christian, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're all fighting the same force. It's the forces of darkness, the forces of evil. There are alien beings that are more advanced and more, they understand spiritual principles more than we do. And our souls are trapped in physicality, which our genetics have been manipulated and modified throughout the years, so that we're not able to see what's really going on, so that these beings have an advantage over us and can use us as slaves and energy sources. As the Matrix explained it, as we are batteries. They explained it in a machine sense, but in the spiritual sense, we're actually beings that they're using our light to steal our light and use us for food, pretty much. Energetic food, soul food, pretty much. So these beings, what they do at night, some trickster beings, they come into your room, they read your mind, they're telepathic. Reading the mind is not hard because people think, oh my God, being psychic and being telepathic is a next level. It's actually not the next level. We're supposed to be telepathic. We're not supposed to be talking. We're not supposed to be saying words. The spiritual world, we're all telepathic and we can read each other's minds. You can't lie in the spirit realm. But because we're in the human format, and because our genetics have been screwed up, and because the human mind has been dumbed down so much, we think things like telepathy and psychic ability is something big, and it's not. So these beings come in your room. You can't see them, but you can feel them. Because the one sense that they cannot dull down too much is our intuition. We can feel what's around us. So the being came to me last night, and I fell asleep. I knew the being was there because your heart starts racing. The being came to me last night. I had a weird dream where I was in like a reality that was kind of inverted. It feels like the real world, but it's not. It's slightly off. The beings read your mind. They read your mind. They see the things that you fear the most and the people that you have the most connection to. Like, let's say it could be a relative or a person at work or a friend. They become these people, and they create scenarios in your mind or in your spirit they create certain situations to get certain responses or energy out of you. This is what they do. God told me to tell you guys, again, this is a very real thing. And I don't care if you guys call me crazy. You know, people can call me crazy all they want. This is real. So the being put me in a weird reality. I'm going to explain the color scheme. The colors were kind of dull and they were kind of dark. That's how I knew I was in the dark realms. Because usually in the higher realms, there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of positive energy, there's a lot of peace. But when you're in the lower realms, it's a lot of darkness, it's a lot of mystery, it's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of nonsense going on. It doesn't make any sense. So I was in a lot of different places in my dream. I will explain the places I was in. I won't go into detail because it's personal. One, I was at a hockey rink. I was at a hockey rink, and I was skating around the hockey rink. Now, I know there's a lot of stories going around about cloning centers and people having dreams of going to something that looked like a hockey rink. I'm starting to have dreams like that too. So I'm not sure if I was at a cloning center, because I didn't see any clones because I was just skating around. But I had several dreams where I was in a hockey rink, and that is very weird. So we have to be wary of things like that. There are cloning centers. There are, this sounds crazy, but I believe it's true. Blood banks, donations. When you go like Planned Parenthood and stuff like that, and they take blood samples, they take vaginal samples, they take male semen samples. I know this sounds nasty, but this is the truth. We got to talk about it. They take these things, like for example, if you go to a hospital and a doctor, possibly someone in the hospital who's higher up, says, I like this girl, I think she's hot, or I like this guy, he's hot, I want their DNA, I want their blood samples, I want their saliva samples. They send this stuff. People, look, I saw this in a dream. People request, like if they like someone, they request their blood and their semen or whatever, and they make clones out of them, okay? And when people make clones of your samples, like your hair and stuff like that, you feel that, and you're connected to that because it's your genetics and it's your DNA. So that's a very scary thing. So a lot of people could be having dreams. It could be connected to some clone somewhere. I believe that is real. I really do. Because they did a study showing that when they take the blood out of somebody, and this is why it's important for people who practice satanic rituals, because I studied the occult too. When they take your hair or your blood, that's still connected to you, and they do rituals on your blood, and they do rituals on your hair. That's still connected to you. That's why you still feel it. That's why in voodoo, they take your samples, because whatever they wish and pray upon that doll with your blood and stuff in it, that stuff happens to you because it's real. It's connected to you. Your blood is connected to your spirit. It's because it's very deep stuff. But I just had to. That's the explanation on on the surface level. It gets a lot deeper than that, but I don't want to go too deep into it because I want to make videos where I really go deep into it. But I always try to make sure I can explain things so that people can understand, because I'm not going to sit here act like I'm some genius or something, or act like I'm some smart, just super intelligent. No, I like to break things down so people can understand, so that a child can understand, because I don't need to be coming on here trying to sound smart, like up my own ass type shit. I want to make sure people understand, because there's a real spiritual battle going on. People go to these realms. There's lots of matrices. There's multiple versions of the matrix. And these beings, they create realities to put you in scenarios, to take energy from you, to put you in fear. They like to have fun. They're trickster spirits, and they don't like you. Especially, they don't like people who are connected to the Most High. So they mess around with you and stuff. That's why you have to always be spiritual. Always look beyond physical sight. Because when there are people out here who take DMT, which DMT is in your brain already, when you go to sleep at night, it's activated. when you have near-death experiences is activated. When you go to sleep at night and you have experiences because the DMT is activated, you do go to different realms. Sometimes you're in your own mind, exploring your own self, and sometimes you're in the spiritual realm. But these trickster spirits, they like to put you in weird realities. The reality might seem parallel to this universe or this matrix, but it's slightly odd or different or off. Like the characters you see in that are familiar faces, they're acting kind of weird and strange. Those are those beings. They can shapeshift into whatever they want to shapeshift into, just to interact with you, just to confuse you. And the more you get spiritually aware and spiritually conscious, the more that these beings have to do to put you in fake realities, to make you think it's real, but it's not. It's just another matrix. We're in so many levels of the matrix, it's not even funny. I've said this in other videos. There are really hellish beings that you have to stay prayed up, get connected to the Most High, get connected to the higher beings, and try to, you have to study the occult. I know people be like, no, that's why you're getting attacked by demons. But you have to understand how these beings operate. You have to understand how they move. You have to understand magic. Their witchcraft and satanic rituals. There are people who put negativity over blood, over intent. Meaning they want to tap into the dark forces and they put spells upon you. And they send demons to you. You have to understand how this works so you can protect yourself. You don't study it so you can summon demons and stuff. No, but you have to study the occult, you have to study magic, you have to study energy work, and you have to study your own dreams and how these beings operate so you can have spiritual defense. I should have a spiritual defense talk because we have to learn. Take a look at the Bible. There's nothing wrong with looking at the Bible. Take a look at the Sumerian texts. Take a look at ancient Kemetic spirituality and the stories about Enki and Enlil. You take a look at these things and you study other truthers, because I've learned a lot from other truthers. And most importantly, everybody has this information. It's genetic memory. My background, I'm black. You know, I'm melanated. I'm black. I have ancestry that goes back to Africa. Everybody does. I have ancestry that goes back to the stars, because constantly a spirit's been telling me, study the star systems and study the Sirius star system, and I've been told this constantly. So in our genetic memory and in our heart and our soul, just follow your intuition, follow your soul, because sorry, I have so much congestion. Just follow these things. Just listen to your heart, because 9 times out of 10 your heart and your spirit are correct. But there are demons and there are aliens and stuff that will try to come and manipulate and try to confuse you, because to them you're nothing more than a child. You don't know any better. You don't know the spirit realm. You don't know, and they purposely make you, they make this, look, the elitists, I'm just gonna end with this. This is a very quick talk. But the reality is, these elitists, they communicate with the dark forces. They know the truth. Because when you have that much money, you don't have to waste your time all day working. They want to keep us busy. They want to keep us working. They want to keep us enslaved. They want to keep us stressed out, because it feeds the dark forces. And it keeps us dumbed down from learning the truth of the reality that we're in. We're supposed to be getting back to the high place. We're supposed to be connected to truth. The only way we're going to get connected to God and the higher realms is studying the truth. You have to study the truth. You have to be spiritually vigilant, because to them, the elitists and the dark forces were nothing more than toys and chess pieces to be played with and to be used. That's it. That's all we are. Once we start being spiritually awake and start learning that it's not just the elitists, because who's controlling them? It's the aliens, it's the dark forces, it's the spirits we don't see that control these people, and this is real. So guys, I hope that this talk helped people, because every time I have dreams, I was in a very weird reality with very strange beings that try to look like people that are familiar to me, and I knew it wasn't them. I knew it wasn't them. And I'm starting to ask questions in my dreams, like, who are you? And they're getting upset, because the more we get awake the more they get upset and they try to put us in more weird realities, because they don't think much of us. They think we're stupid soul beings trapped in physicality where they could use us and put us in weird realities and manipulate the matrix around us, or manipulate the human brain. It's easy to manipulate the human brain. It's not that hard. They do it with TV. They do it with, I think it's ELF waves. I think that's what they're called. The electromagnetic waves. There's very, very, very low sounds we can't hear that influence our brain. There's so much shit going on. It's crazy. And I'm thankful for these truthers that come out with this stuff, because we need the truth. Now they see that we're becoming more awake. They're on this bullshit with this weather modification and stuff. But I'm going to say that for another video, because weather modification, the people ask why are they using HARP and why are they using the weather modification to kill so many people. It's deeper than just population control. They have to feed these beings. They have to soul harvest. Soul harvesting is very real. They have technology to take souls and put them in reincarnate them and all this stuff. It goes really deep. It's really evil. It's evil as hell. It sucks that we have to go through this, but we have to get connected to the Most High. And the only way we get connected to the Most High is getting connected to the truth. We have to study magic. We have to study the occult so we can defend ourselves against this evil. We don't study the occult to practice magic and work with demons. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to know this stuff so we can defend ourselves. Because if we don't know, we're hopeless, we're useless, we're vulnerable to these attacks. So guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to me. You know, I'm going to talk every day, or at least every week, about these spiritual things, because God is telling me, sending me messages every day like, Brooke, please talk about this stuff. You know, people are going to call you crazy. They're going to call you weird. They're going to think you've lost it. But please, you have to, I have a calling. There's something reaching out to me. There are forces that are benevolent that keep reaching out to me to tell me to use my art and use my voice and use my YouTube and my platforms to talk about this stuff, because it's really, really important that we get this information out there. It goes deeper than just control. It really goes deeper than just control. It's deeper than mind control. It's deeper than MK Ultra. It's soul. The battle is for the soul. That's it. The body can die. It doesn't matter. They make clones anyway. They don't care about flesh. The body. They know. They already know the truth. It's just people who have to work 9 to 5 and stress and struggle with their kids and their lives. We're under so much stress that we don't know the truth. But God is getting the higher beings and the people who are following Earth and what's going on Earth, or Terra, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of beings that are benevolent that are watching what's going on. They're getting tired of these evil beings. Being awoke is a choice. You have to choose to want to know the truth. Once you start praying and saying, you know what, I'm in a lot of pain, I'm tired of what's going on in this world, I want to know the truth, you will start to see visions, and you will start to see dreams, and you will start to see what's really going on, and you will get the truth vibrations if you tap into it. Don't be afraid to study the occult. Don't be afraid to study these things, because you need to be spirit. You have to protect your spirit. I had to protect my spirit from voodoo, demonic attack, reptilians, aliens, and not only that, we have to protect ourselves against the physical realm too, because there's a lot of people out here that are just like demons, just like vampires. They want to steal your energy. They want to put you down. They want to send negative energy your way. Don't fall for the bullshit. All right, guys, thank you for listening to me. Have a great day.